Okay, good morning everybody. My name is Sarah Johnson, and I'm going to be teaching you guys a class on the communication process. Before we begin, I'm going to pass around the sign-in roster, and I'm going to have you guys to sign in. So I have a question for you guys. What is communication? What y'all think?
I guess talking.
Talking?
Or it could be like texting.
Okay, texting. Emailing. Okay, I like that. What else?
I would say sending a message.
Sending a message? Okay. Miss Gary?
Like how people hear things.
How people hear things? Okay, I like that. What you got, Mr. Jackson?
Networking.
Networking. Okay, I like all those answers. So, does the university require you guys to take a communications course your first year?
Yeah.
Okay. Or you said oral communication? And what does that entail? What do they have you guys? What do they teach you guys in your oral communications course?
Mostly they just teach about like giving a speech or like how you introduce yourself to a busy person or something.
Okay, so they teach you about how to give a speech and how to introduce yourself. What else do they teach you guys?
Like when you're up giving a presentation, like your body language, your hands, or some people like click pins or stuff.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Okay, so to look for your cues or whatever, or your fillers, something like that. Okay, I like that. Do they actually teach you guys about the process and what communication actually is? A little bit? Okay, so that's what we're going to actually do today. We're going to actually talk about the communication process. So next we're going to watch this video clip, and then we're going to discuss it and see what you guys think about it.
We're out here now, man. I hope you're happy. Yeah, I'm happy. Well, good. Now what? Well, I just think we should have Will's ROTC test. Oh, come on, man. Those vests are for daggone people who really like to use them. I don't even see them. They're colorblind, Stacey. Golly. Hey, Tiny, did you get something? Tiny, what'd you get? Tiny. Tiny, oh my God.
911, what is your emergency, please?
Yes, please help us. I think my buddy, I think he's dead. What do I do?
Sir, calm down. I can help you. We'll walk through this together. First, I need you to make sure he's dead.
Well, I can do that. Hold on a second. He's dead. Now what?
Okay, so from this video, what did you guys clearly see was the issue with their communication?
She asked to make sure he was dead instead of make sure he was alive.
Okay, so she asked him to make sure he was dead, okay, instead of make sure he's alive. So maybe there was some misunderstanding with their communication. What else? What else did you guys observe from this video? What you think, Miss Coleman?
Like I feel like he kind of, well, for her to say make sure he's dead, she didn't mean like shoot him just to make sure he's really dead. I feel like it's kind of slowing his heart because like what operator would say make sure the person's dead, but you actually killed them so they dead. Like the receiver like interpreted wrong.
Okay, so his interpretation. Okay.
I feel like the sender, I feel like the way she worded that was wrong because she should have said check his pulse or check to see if he's breathing or apply pressure to the wound, not make sure he's dead because that was sent wrong and it's obvious how it could be perceived wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys see from this video how important it is to actually verbalize what you're actually trying to say to the person that that you're speaking to or talking to? So whatever the intent of the message, you want to make sure that that person actually gets the intent of the message. So we have another video called Lee's. So we're going to go ahead and go into our learning objectives. Ms. Jones, can you read those for me?
Understand the communication process. Identify barriers to effective communication. Describe ways to improve interpersonal communication.
Okay, so this is the communication process. So you have the sender, the receiver, you have content, feedback, noise, and message. What is the sender? What is that?
The person giving the message.
Okay, so the person actually giving the message. Okay, so what is the receiver?
The person that they're talking to.
So the person that is actually interpreting whatever the message is being sent. And so what is a message?
What's
Whatever
being
being
said.
The information being sent, right? Okay. And then what is feedback?
What
the
they have
reaction.
the information.
Okay, so who gives the feedback?
The receiver.
The receiver, okay? So in between here you see it says noise. What do you think they mean by noise? What is noise?
Disturbances.
Any disturbances? I like that. What else? What is noise? What do you think, Ms. Gary? What is noise?
Like how in the video, like the interpretation can be noise, like, cause he could probably hear it wrong or.
Okay, so interpreting it wrong, hearing it wrong could be considered noise. What else? What else could be considered noise?
What if like you're on a crime scene or something, you just seen somebody get hit by a car and they like laid out, so you're trying to call like the authorities, but it's people in the background screaming and stuff, and you can't really hear, that could be like.
Okay, I like that. So background noise, someone in the background actually says something. So you guys pretend like you're having a conversation.
Hey, John.
Okay, so what I was saying was, so could that be considered noise?
Yeah.
So what does noise do to the message and the feedback? What does it do to this communication process?
It can like make everything wrong.
Yeah.
You can hear everything wrong.
Okay, so you can actually hear the message wrong? What
You
else?
may not hear nothing at all.
You may not hear anything at all? I like that.
Like distracted, like if me and Johnson's in here talking, I'm like kind of zoning you out,
Okay,
and then, like while you're teaching, cause I'm not listening, it's just like noise.
I got you. So I'm supposed to be here teaching you guys, but she's zoning me out because she's paying attention to what Johnson is saying. So Johnson could be considered noise, and she's not actually effectively interpreting what the message that I am sending, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I like that. That's a good example. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, so next we're gonna watch a video. It's called Lee Hunt or Lee's Intent. So we're gonna watch this video, and I want to get you guys' opinion about this video.
Yes, sir. I want you to deliver this message in person. Find General Ewell. Tell him the federal troops are withdrawn in confusion. It is only necessary to push those people in order to gain possession of those heights. Tell him to take that hill if practical. The one beyond the town. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir. Very well.
Congratulations, General. General, I want you to see this.
General Lee, it's like second Manassas. It's all over again.
Worked out even better for the planners. The only thing I want done now, if we can take that hill, is have it occupied by nightfall.
Sir, the federal army has fallen back from Gettysburg. They are reforming on the ridges outside of town.
Very well.
Okay, so what do you guys think about this video?
It was too much chaos going on.
Okay, so too much chaos. And what did we, from the last line, what did we say that chaos could be considered? Noise, right? Okay, what else did you guys observe from this video?
He gave the man too much information.
He gave him too much information? Okay, so by him giving him too much information, what could that cause?
He could be confused and soon be wrong.
Okay, so he could be confused and send it wrong? What else, what you think?
Not only were they giving a lot of information at one time, but he had more than one person coming up telling him different stuff.
Okay,
And then so when he was trying to give his orders, they were like a little bit confusing. But I think it's because he was trying to juggle so much and also try to spit out a certain part.
okay, so maybe he had too much information given to him at once from too many personnel. So his interpretation from this person may have been different than his interpretation from the other person. So in the previous slide, where it talked about the message, the sender, the receiver, the feedback, and the context. So what is the context? What is context? Let's clarify that before we continue on with this video. What is context?
You have to what the message is talking about,
Okay, so what the actual message is, okay, the content of the message, okay, what is its context?
like if you like that person or something, and then you may get the message wrong or something like that.
Okay, it could be that, could be depending on the relationship.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
interpretation, I like that.
Perception.
Okay, your perception. So what are some other things, you brought up a good point, some things that influence the context of the message. You brought up a good one when she said relationship. What's another thing that you think that may influence how the message receiver interpreted?
Religion.
Religion, okay, so whatever you believe, that could play a factor.
Language.
Language, okay, what else?
Culture.
Culture, I like that, that plays a big factor. What else?
Education.
Education, I like that, that's a good one. So in this video that we saw, Needs Intent, they were on a battlefield. So location, do you think location?
Yeah.
Okay, so why does location play a factor?
Because if you're sitting in the middle of a football game trying to talk to me on the phone, like, that's not gonna work. Like, you ain't gonna be
Okay.
No.
So, because you may not be able to interpret the message correct, because you may either you're paying attention to them or you're paying attention to the football game, correct?
Or,
Okay.
okay, or for example, this weekend I was at drill, and at drill weekend it's always hard for me to catch my personnel sergeant, and I'm having pay problems. But I saw him on the gun range. I was like, oh, I finally see him, but on the gun range wasn't a good time to say, oh, hey, Sergeant, my pay is messed up. So it's like that location wasn't a good time, but it was okay for me to say, I need to talk to you later. So I guess the location played a part in that.
Okay, I like that. That's a good example. So some things we say was place, culture, and relationship. So in that video we just watched, what were some things that played a factor in the content of the message that you think that the message may have been lost?
They had to go a long distance to, like the senders had to go a long distance to give the information out.
Okay, so the sender had to travel a distance to give the receiver the message. So in between that time, they could have forgotten some things or misinterpreted some, or what did they really say? What was he really talking about? So I like that. That was a good thing. What else?
the length of the message.
The length of the messages. I like that. I like that. That's a good.
And he wasn't recording anything. He was just going off memory, like he was being told, and then he would leave. He didn't write anything down, so there's really no way for him to specifically remember word for word what the message was.
Exactly. So next we're going to talk about communication barriers. So we already identified noise. Ms. Jones, can you read that slide for me? What is noise?
Interference between the sender and receiver.
Okay, so these are some external, internal, and semantic barriers, the different types of barriers. Ms. Garrett, can you read external barriers for me? Distractions.
Environmental, visual, and physical.
What do you think they mean by physical? How is physical a barrier? How is it a distraction?
Maybe like the person's attitude towards you as you're sending the message to them, like, and you don't want to hear what you're saying.
Okay, so maybe they're nonverbal, so their physical attributes, whatever they're displaying physically towards you, that could be a distraction. I like that. That's a good example.
Or like deaf or blind.
Okay, deaf or blind. I like that. That is very good. I would have never thought of that. I like that. So if a person is deaf or blind, you have to figure out a different way to communicate, because that's a barrier if you're not deaf or if you're not blind. What else? What do you think they mean by physical?
You can say like, see, she got a nice hat on. See, I'm paying more attention to her hat than what she really saying.
Okay, so maybe you're paying attention to some physical attribute as opposed to what the person is actually saying. That's a good one. I would never thought about that. I like that. That was good. So next we have our internal barriers. Go ahead and read that for me, Ms. Hill.
Not listening, not interested, and daydreaming.
So those internal barriers are within, right? Not listening. You guys do that a lot, right? Yeah. We know you guys do that a lot. Not interested. So I'm up here, I'm teaching you guys, and I don't care what Sergeant's talking about right now. I'm ready to go to lunch, so I'm really not interested. So that could be an internal barrier, correct? Daydreaming. Why do you think that's a barrier? You can't not listen and daydream at the same time? So if you're daydreaming, you're in a daze, right? So you're not focused on what the sender is actually sending. So that interpretation in between could get lost. Semantic barriers, different. So that's something different outside of your external and your internal barriers. So semantic barriers. Go ahead and read that for me, Mr. Jackson.
Languages, education, and cultures.
So you brought that up, Ms. Stewart. You said education. Why do you think education is considered a communication barrier?
Because some people use big words that other people might not understand.
So some people may use large words that someone may not understand. I remember a word I recently learned, ambiguous. Someone said, I said, what is ambiguous? Like, can you just not simplify that? So for me, I had to go back, learn that word, and then interpret what they said later. What's another reason you think education is a factor? What you think, Ms. Hill?
Like when you send your messages through, like writing or the little thing they used to have.
The typewriter?
Typewriter and all that stuff. Like if people can't read, they're not educated enough to read, then they didn't know they can listen.
Okay, so maybe their education level is not on the same level. So they may not interpret that message. That's what I heard you trying to say? Okay. So what she was saying was their education level. So you're typing something up on a typewriter as opposed to somebody using a computer today. That person may not be able to understand what you're trying to say. Okay, I like that. What else? What's another reason?
I don't know if this really falls into education, but it's like in the military how y'all use a lot of like abbreviations and stuff. And I don't have that same I guess training, or I haven't been through those same classes or courses that you've been through where you learn those abbreviations and terms.
Okay.
So I'll be confused majority of the time.
So I think that could fall into any of these. So the military, we have our own language, right? So the languages we use acronyms. We say Roger, we say Hood, we say Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and we're spelling out things with our phonetic alphabet. And other personnel who doesn't know it may not understand. Right? So I get what you're saying. So it can fall in language and education. You haven't learned that yet. That's something that's not on your level of expertise. So now you have to learn and figure out what I'm saying. And then culture. Do you guys agree that the military, just from your experience here on campus, that we have our own culture?
Yes.
What do you think is meant by the military culture?
It's just all different. Like I was talking to my friends about something like PJ, he had to have, like, if he see all of us in a group together, he'll start talking like ROTC wise, and our other friends just ain't ROTC. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
Right. So for us, another person in uniform, I don't have to change. I can say, hey, meet me here at 1900. I don't have to say 7 o'clock p.m. I don't have to say that. I do that with my family a lot. I say, hey, meet me at the store at 1900. They're like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, that's 7 p.m. Sorry. Or meet me here at 3 or whatever. So for us, 3 is, ooh, that's early in the morning, right? So if someone said, I'm like, 3 a.m.? So we do have our own language, our different education, because we have to get trained on different things, and we have our own culture inside of the military. So I like that. It was a good example. So these are 4 steps that we have identified to improve our interpersonal communication. Can you read that for me, Ms. Stewart?
Focus your message, magnify the listener's attention, penetrate barriers, and listen actively.
Focus your message. What does that mean?
Like, get to the point or whatever?
Okay, so maybe getting to the point of the message. I like that.
Know what you're trying to say.
Know exactly what you're trying to say. I like that. That's good. That's good. What else? Stay on topic. I like that. So staying on topic, knowing what you're trying to say, they go hand in hand. So that's how you focus your message. What do you think is meant by magnify the listener's attention?
Keep his attention.
Keep that person's attention.
Say some things to make them like actually want it.
Like
I like that.
Like when you bring up money, you have my full attention.
Okay, so saying things that they're actually interested in to keep their attention. So Ms. Mujahid said she's interested in money. So as soon as you say money, it can have nothing to do with her. You have her undivided attention, right? So money, oh, this is about me. No, we're not talking to you. Okay? Penetrate barriers. So we just learned about those external barriers, those internal barriers, and those semantic barriers. So what do you think they mean by penetrate barriers? And how do we penetrate those barriers?
Like translators.
Okay, so a translator, so if someone speak a different language, so Miss Mujahi, she speak Arabic, so she come to me and she speaking Arabic, I'm gonna need a translator, right? I have no clue what she's, no idea. Ongles only, ongles only. That's it, that is it. I know you guys think I'm from somewhere else, but English is my language. Okay, so what else? What are some other things we could do to penetrate those barriers?
Like with daydreaming and not listening or not paying attention, you could give them something ahead and doing something hands-on.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So one of those internal barriers was daydreaming. She was like, okay, well maybe you're losing them. They're tired of hearing you speak, so let's give them something hands-on, right? We have a practice exercise, so that's gonna help anybody that's in here that's daydreaming. So that's cool. I like that. So next we have listen actively. Listen actively. How can that help you to improve your interpersonal communication? Go ahead.
Or like maybe ask them questions to see like if they understand what you were saying, like ask them like, well, you like, you know, ask them what you said so they can like brief back to you what they said.
Okay, so asking questions, I like that. So they can actually brief back to you what they actually heard. I like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do that oftentimes when talking to like my boss or something, and then he's telling me something, I'll often say it back. Okay, this is what I heard, or this is how I interpreted that,
I like
to
that.
make sure that we're on the same page. And you can even do that like during conflict, instead of I guess reacting the wrong way. You can say, okay, well I don't know how you meant to say this, but this is how I took it.
Okay.
And that's oftentimes how differences can be worked out by giving feedback that way.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So actually repeat and say, okay, this is what I heard you say. Is this the way you actually meant for me to actually interpret this message? Because a lot of times, have you ever sent a text message?
Yeah.
And the person on the other end, they received it like totally wrong.
People take it the wrong way.
They take it. Why do you think so?
Because the text
I guess
message-
like with a text message, you can't see facial expression, you can't see emotion, you can't see none of that. Right?
Okay, so with a text message, you can't see the receiver or you can't see the sender. Neither can you see the receiver, so you don't know what was the intent of the message. So you interpret it in your own way. What if the person in a bad mood when they receive it? I've been there.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
What did they say?
They got
Scott?
stuff for that on iPhone now.
They have stuff that on who?
We're talking about like emojis or something.
Not emojis, but like when you send a message, it got like if you got
Oh,
and all that. Wow.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Some stuff for that.
I don't even use it. I got
Okay. Okay. Well, technology is helping us to improve that. I see.
People still be mad though.
Okay, so at this time, we're going to conduct a practical exercise. So we have a list of 12 items on here, and you're going to put them in a category of internal, external, or semantic. Okay? So you have 12 sentences. We're going to take about 5 minutes to complete this. And then we're going to actually discuss it out loud and say, okay, what did you think? Okay, so we just completed our practice exercise. We're going to go over this real fast and just see if you guys were able to figure out which one were the internal, external, and semantic barriers. So internal barriers, it says not listening, not interested, and daydreaming. What did you put down there, Ms. Mujahi? What was one of the ones you put down? Number 3? Okay. Number 3. What was number 3? Read that from Ms. Mujahi.
The receiver is preoccupied with emotions of anger and hostility.
Okay, so why is that an internal barrier?
Because if I come into class and I'm like having a bad day, or I'm mad about something, and you could be teaching, I could potentially not be listening to the lesson. I could probably just come in and put my head down, or just like sit like this, like dozing off, daydreaming, not listening.
Okay.
Number 10.
So what's another internal? You said number 10, Mr. Cole? What is number 10?
Receiver who tunes out sender to mentally rehearse what he or she is going to say in return.
Why do you think that's an internal barrier?
Because they are not listening, really.
Okay.
They tune them out. They thinking about what they're going to say before they even interpret the message.
Okay, so they're already thinking about their response before they actually even interpret the message. So have you ever heard someone says, listen to respond, not listen to understand and not listen to respond? Have you ever heard that? I think that's how it says. So this person here, they're listening to respond. They're not listening to actually understand the message. Okay, we're going to move on to, give me an external barrier. What do you guys think is an external barrier?
Number 5.
Number 5. What does number 5 say?
A noisy band playing music inside of a restaurant.
So why is that an external barrier? Because there's noise on the outside, right? It's a band. It's prohibiting you from actually communicating. You're like, oh my goodness, like they could be playing something, I don't know what they're playing. But they could be playing some loud jazz music and you're trying to have a conversation. So that's something that's interrupting that communication flow. So the sender may not send the message properly because they may be distracted. The receiver may not receive the message properly because they may not hear it as effectively if they didn't, if that noise wasn't there. Give me one more of the external.
Number 7.
Okay. Number 7? Okay, go ahead. What does number 7 say?
Unable to Skype due to a sudden loss of internet connectivity.
Why is that an external barrier?
That's something physical, like that's to do with
Or environmental,
Yeah.
like.
Okay, I like that. So that's environmental.
Like on the FTX, I was trying to FaceTime my boyfriend, but I didn't have no connection.
No service.
Okay, so during the FTX, you're in the woods. Should be focused on stick lane, but she's trying to FaceTime her boyfriend. So that external barrier prohibited her from effectively communicating. I like that. So let's go to the semantic barriers. Give me one of the semantic. Number 1, read that for me.
Lack of basic communication skills between the sender and receiver.
What do you think that means? Lack of communication. What category do you think that falls under? Education. Why do you think it falls under education?
You go ahead. Like how you said when you first come in college, we got the entry level course about communication.
Right.
But if you've never been to college, then you never had that entry level communication course, so I probably know how to speak in interviews properly, and the other person might not know how.
Okay.
Because they didn't have that education.
Gotcha. I like that. I like that. What's another one that's a semantic?
Number 6.
Number 6. What does number 6 say?
A person constantly using jargon or slang to communicate with someone from another country.
Come on now. Why is that a semantic barrier?
Because what may mean hide in your language or your culture may mean something totally different in their language.
Okay, so something we may say may mean one thing, but something, it may be interpreted different from the other person depending on where they're from. Is that also true in the United States?
Yes. Because when like where I'm from, Derek, you know, they be messing me all the time. Like sometimes, like show your face, or I say something like that. It can be like, okay, you showing your true colors, or you got it out, or something like that. It can mean a lot of different things. I just like show your face.
Okay, so for you, you say show your face, that means show me who you really are. But to someone else to say show your face, you're like, okay, I'm showing you my face. Like, here it is. Okay. Is that, you don't see it? I'm standing right in front of you. So I like that. So even within the United States, someone from New York could interpret something different from how we say things here in Arkansas. I know for me, being here, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have no clue what you guys are saying. You know, you use slang. So I'm like, I have to try to interpret that for myself. Okay, so I like that. Okay, so this concludes our class on the communication process. So today, we will understand the communication process, identify barriers to effectively communicate, and describe ways to improve interpersonal communication. Does anyone have any questions at this time? So no questions. So next class period, we're going to have a quiz over the communication process, and we're also going to talk about the Army writing style. So if no one has any questions of me, I appreciate your time. Make sure I get the sign-in roster, and I will see you guys next class period. Of course, 11 o'clock class. This is our final class of the semester. It's on suicide prevention. So, good morning. I'm Sergeant Johnson. Of course, you guys already know that. And today we're going to talk about suicide prevention. Of course, you know, you have your handouts, what you did, your read aheads. So hopefully you guys can give me some good insightful feedback. And then we also have 2 practical exercises that we're going to try to attempt to accomplish today or get through today. So I have a question. I know it's really not a smiling subject, right? So I do have a question. Has anyone ever heard of anyone committing suicide or attempting to commit suicide? Okay, so what happened in your situation?
My situation was like, so it was a family experience actually.
Okay.
My uncle, his daughter wasn't getting no attention, nothing like that, because they just had a baby, and you know the stuff on TV is just like really real.
Okay.
And then yeah, she wanted to commit suicide because she felt like she wanted love and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing. What you got, Mr. Paul?
One of my pops' friends from his old unit did because apparently he wasn't getting help from the VA in Little Rock like he was supposed to be, and just things weren't working out in his life like he thought they were going to be working out, and just went bad real quick.
Okay. So what do you guys think are some warning signs of someone who is suicidal? Go ahead.
Self-harm.
Self-harm? What do you mean by self-harm? Explain it to me.
When I met my best friend, her mom and dad was going through a divorce, and she used to put her on.
Oh, wow. Okay. So harming themselves? I like that. What you got from Mr. Paul?
Social withdrawal.
Social withdrawal. What do you mean by social withdrawal? Explain it to me.
My pops' friend, he used to come around a lot. Well, when he was married, before he got the divorce, he used to come around the house a lot, hang out with us, have barbecues with us, and then after the divorce, he kind of stopped returning calls. He would stop coming over and make excuses why he didn't want to hang out with the family anymore and stuff like that.
Okay. What about you, Miss Wilson? What do you think are some warning signs?
They don't probably be like really sad.
Okay.
I've seen emotional change. You can see that.
Oh, I like that. So emotional change. So they go from this person you see that's jolly all the time to all of a sudden maybe they're sad. Yeah. What about you, Chappelle? Let me get you.
Okay.
What about you, Mr. Chappelle? What do you think? What do you think is a warning sign that a person that is suicidal may display?
Maybe starting to get rid of like things that are important to them.
Wow.
Like starting to spend money a lot, give away a lot of their possessions that they feel are intimate to them. So.
Okay. I like that. What you got for Mr. Minty? Go ahead.
When they take on the act of being someone else, like for my story that I just said, she started acting like the younger sister and she cut her hair like just like the younger sister.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do right now, we're actually gonna watch this video. And at the end of the video, I wanna get you guys honest opinion and honest reaction to this video. So we're gonna watch this real quick. So we just finished watching the video called MDC. What do you think that video was trying to signify? What do you think the message they were trying to convey to us in that video? Go ahead, Ms. Cool.
What I took from the video was that suicide affects everyone around you, not just you.
Okay, I like that. What else did you guys take from that video? What you got?
You want to notice the signs.
Okay.
At the end of the video, it kind of shows his personality and stuff like that change. And there's a lot of people around, so you definitely want to pay attention to those close to you.
Okay, I like that. What you think, Mr. Paul?
No, it doesn't just happen on one select group of people. It happens from all walks of life. You saw all these they were all in different social situations.
Gotcha, I like that.
They were all just different in every way, but it still affected them the same.
Okay, I like that. So what you guys have in front of you is practice exercise number 2. So in practice exercise number 2, we have options we're going to choose from. Since we have a small group here, so what we're going to do, we're going to do the triggers for suicidal behavior. So what I'm going to have you guys do, I'm going to have you guys utilize the chalkboard over here. And as a group collectively, I want you to come up with something that you think that may trigger someone to become suicidal. So just to get the ball rolling and get you guys thinking, I would say someone going into debt. So maybe they were wealthy before and now they're in debt. So now that triggers them to become suicidal or think of, suicidal ideations. So at this time, what I'm going to have you guys do as a group, it's a smaller class so we can do this as one group. We don't have to break into separate groups. Go over here to the whiteboard or chalkboard and just brainstorm. What are some things you think that could trigger someone to become suicidal? And think about, the environment that we're in, the school setting. What are some things you think that would cause students to also become suicidal? So we're going to take about 5 minutes to execute this, and then we'll discuss it and we'll compare, my list to your list. So what we're going to do as a group, collectively speak about some things you think that could trigger someone to think about suicide or to want to commit suicide. So go ahead.
Health. Oh yes. Bad health.
Following you. You just have to-
Declining health, maybe.
Yeah, like they weight, so.
So these are our learning objectives. Coop, can you read that for me?
Yes, ma'am. Learning objectives. Identify the symptoms of depression and the common triggers, risk factors, myths, and warning signs of suicide. Apply appropriate action in response to an at-risk individual.
Okay, so as mentioned before, our practice exercise, you guys wrote down your guys' list. So we're gonna have Cadet Paul and Cadet Chappelle to explain a little bit of the thought process that you all had when you were coming up with your list. And this beautiful, is it a diagram?
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful cell that Chappelle drew for us. So we'll start with the list first, if that's okay. Go ahead, Cadet Paul.
Okay, so first ones that we have were drugs and alcohol. So a lot of drug addicts and alcoholics, when they hit rock bottom and they start to wonder where their families went, that's when depression and suicidal thoughts start to hit. For students, grades are loss of scholarships. So if you're really like pressed for your grades, so if you feel like all you have in your life are your grades, or you're the only one, you just have a lot of pressure about you for your schooling, and you lose that would probably send you into a downward spiral. Health issues and mental health. So mental health is kind of self-explanatory. Some people are just not right in the aspects where they need to be, and if they're left alone, that might come into play. So like my brother, he's schizophrenic, so he can't be left alone for a long period of time because he'll do self-harm.
Gotcha.
We said health issues, so if you suddenly become really sick, or if you're overweight and a weight that you don't like and you just want to change that instantly, just something that would, health-wise, would affect your mental thinking about yourself. Money issues, so if you suddenly came into huge amounts of debt and you couldn't find a way out.
Okay.
Losing a spouse or family, so losing somebody really, really close to you is always detrimental to anybody. So we said bullying as well. So it's a big factor in the American schools today. Bullying, the amount of bullying, because some kids don't know a way out, so they find their own way out. We said attention and social life, so it kind of relates to bullying in a sense, because if you don't get enough attention at home, you might want to figure another way to get attention in what you think would be right. Or maybe you're just not liked at school, and you may become depressed because nobody spends time with you, or you don't think you're liked at school. So.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate that. So in a moment, we're going to actually compare you guys' list to mine. But first, I would like for Mr. Chappelle to explain this lovely picture he drew.
So to start with the list, most of these things are like triggers. It's like one day you're good, the next day this happens, and then all of a sudden you feel, that you need to commit suicide. But this is more like a spectrum. Like on one end you have responsibility, I know it's kind of odd. On one end you have responsibility, and then on the other end you have capability. So sometimes when you feel that your responsibilities are too much for you to handle, that you can't actually balance it out with your capabilities to take care of those responsibilities, you may feel that you need to commit suicide. That's how you get depressed. So that's one way to think about it.
I like that. Thank you, Chappelle. Good job. All right, thank you guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the list that I have here. So some of the triggers that we have identified: the breakup of a close relationship. So I think you guys mentioned relationship over here.
Oh.
You guys did? Okay. So loss of a spouse. Okay, so that's a relationship. Witnessing a death, so you actually see someone actually being killed themselves, so that may trigger you. Even if you didn't see them, just death itself can be a trigger. New military assignment or deployment. I know in my last class, the example they gave was someone came back from a deployment and they were having difficulty adjusting. So in the military, that's one thing that we noticed with our troops. Did they have a difficult time adjusting back to what we call civilian life? And then rejection, job or promotion, or rejection by a boyfriend, which you guys kind of hit on that too, attention or social life, just needing that attention and wanting that attention. So the example I gave in my last class period was, I had a guy in my last unit. He was a staff sergeant, 18 years, looking to get promoted to sergeant first class. Didn't get picked up, didn't get selected. It triggered something in him. He became very, very depressed. Fortunately enough, this guy did not commit suicide because he displayed the warning signs and we were able to recognize them. So we actually put him on suicidal watch. But that when I saw that rejection and said job promotion, it stuck out to me because I know in the military, that's a big thing. It's like you're doing all you can, you're doing everything you need to do, and what happens? You get overlooked for these promotions. So that one actually stuck out to me. But this is the rest of the list. I won't go down the entire list and read it. You guys can actually see it for yourself. And some of the things that you guys mentioned are actually up here as well. I talked about bad evaluation, so you guys get COER, the cadets. OERs, and we get NCOERs and NCOs, and the officers get OERs as officers, and someone writes you a bad evaluation, that can trigger you like, oh my God, my career is over, and then that contributes maybe some suicidal ideations. So these are just some of the things on our list. So here we have some of the symptoms and feelings of hopelessness and depression. Mr. Mentor, can you read this slide for me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Hopelessness and depression. Feelings of hopelessness. I did that. Believing all resources to be exhausted. Feeling no one cares. Believing the world would be better off without you. Total loss of control over self and others. Seeing death as the only means of eliminating pain. Symptoms of depression. Difficulty concentrating or remembering. Loss of energy. Chronic fatigue. Slow speech and muscle movement. Loss of self-esteem. Changing sleep habits. Unusual. Unable to sleep and wanting to sleep more, changing weight and anxiety.
So I have a question for you guys. What do you think will be a consequence of someone who had these feelings and had these symptoms, but they were not properly dealt with or effectively dealt with? What could be the consequence of that? Death? Okay. What else? What else could be a consequence? Now, we know the ultimate could be death, but what else could be some other consequences?
When it said changing habits and sleep, like depression and loss of energy, because they'll, like, say they were in sports and stuff,
okay,
and then they go out there and try their hardest, but they can't, and then when they do try their hardest, they could fall out or anything like that.
So what I hear you saying is like declining after your physical health?
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. What you got, Ms.
Changing weight, I mean, that can affect your health. I mean, you can either become obese or, I think it's anorexic.
Okay. Got you. Okay, so health issues, either obesity or anorexia, so some issues of that nature. Okay, I like that. What you got, Mr. Paul?
Harm to others.
Harm to others. Explain it. What do you mean?
Because it says feeling that no one cares, and so a lot of people, when they feel like if nobody cares, then they're not going to care about anybody, so then they're just going to be mad at everybody because they don't care, so that person won't care. I feel like it's a downward slope to it. Since nobody cares, you think that nobody cares, you're just going to get violent towards everybody.
Okay, I like that. So, like, some of these, you guys, like the shootings or the mass shootings, I know we discussed that prior to class beginning. So is that what you're referring to when you mean like harms to others? Okay, I like that. What you got, Ms. Coop?
You can begin to fail classes.
Okay, what do you mean?
Difficulty concentrating and remembering.
Okay.
Loss of energy, changing sleep habits.
So now that is affecting your grade. That is affecting you in class. Okay, so I like that. I like that. So these are some of the myths and facts about suicide. What are some myths, before we read this, what are some myths that you guys have heard about suicide? What's a myth you think you've heard about suicide? Which name you should be? What is a myth you think you've heard about suicide?
A myth about suicide?
Mm-hmm.
You always show the symptoms before you even say
Okay. Okay, so one of the myths that Mr. Chappelle just mentioned, he says that you always display symptoms before you commit suicide. And he said that's not true. Sometimes you have those ones that are silent and they just actually act on it. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do, Ms. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
just pick two.
Okay.
I would like for you to read the myth and then the fact to dispel that myth.
Okay. I'll choose the two bottom ones.
Okay, the bottom two, gotcha.
Myth is suicidal persons are mentally ill. The fact is most suicidal persons are not mentally ill.
And why do you think that is a myth? Why do you think that's a myth?
Because I think like when you are mentally ill, people automatically think that you can't process everything right.
Okay.
So maybe it's something like that.
Okay. What else? Did anybody else have another take on that? Why do you think that is a myth?
Because if you're mentally ill, I would assume that if you're mentally ill or something was wrong and people knew something was wrong, you probably watched more carefully.
Okay.
And so you treat it differently. So each time that you would show that you might be suicidal would be met or dealt with at a better time or properly.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. I'll post this question out here. So could a perfectly or someone perceived as being perfectly normal, could they commit suicide?
Yeah.
Yes. So do you necessarily have to be diagnosed with depression, schizophrenic, to say I'm suicidal? So that's what I believe this myth is trying to tell us. So suicidal persons are mentally ill. Most suicidal persons are not mentally ill. It could be someone you see walking around every day that's normal who had one of these effects, the drugs, the grave, the loss of a family member, and that triggered them to do so. Okay, Mr. Mentor, pick another one.
Okay. All suicidal people are fully intent on dying.
All suicidal people are fully intent on dying. And then what is the fact that dispels that?
95% are undecided about it and call it for help before and after death.
So do you guys believe there's a myth that, do you think it's always the intent of someone who says, I am suicidal, I want to kill myself, that they actually want to die?
No.
No, so what do you think it is? So the fact says they're undecided, they're calling out for help. Do you agree with that?
No, so I always got a story. You guys know that.
Go ahead.
I read there was an article about this 17-year-old girl who is going to prison right now because her boyfriend wanted to commit suicide, and they showed the text message between the two. And for like a week straight, they were texting about it, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm gonna do it today." And then he put it off. Well, I don't know if I still want to do it. I'm gonna call somebody about it. And the girlfriend kept on egging him on, like, "So you're not gonna do it? Why are you not gonna do it? You need to do it because apparently she wanted attention from the school after he killed himself."
Got you.
And so for the longest, he was trying to put it off, and then towards the end, it seemed like he didn't want to do it. And then she said something to him in private or something like that, and then he finally did it. And then the police found the text messages. So.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Phil.
I think all suicidal people are intent on dying. Most of the time, you just want to get rid of the problem. The problem seems like you can't solve it. You just want to end it at that time. So that seems like the only option to do it.
I like that. I like that take on it. So it's not that they're intent on dying. It's just that whatever it is that they have going on at that moment, it just seems overwhelming for them at that moment. And they feel like only, maybe, not the only, but one way out may be to kill themselves or to just eliminate themselves. So now I don't have to deal with this problem. So I like your take on that. So what are some warning signs that you think a person may display that is thinking about committing suicide?
They'll probably tell you.
Okay, they may just tell you. Okay, someone, hey, I want to kill myself. I'm just ready to go. So some people are that bold to say, hey, I want to commit suicide. What else?
If you're, so say for instance, your spouse or something like that, and you see that their financial side of their holdings is starting to decline severely.
Okay, so loss in finances. Financial indebtedness, like what happened? So I like that. So these are some of the warning signs that we have said, these are the warning signs of suicide. Go ahead and read that from Ms. Cooper.
Talk of suicide or of killing someone else, giving away property, withdrawal from friends and activities, acting bizarre or unusual.
So at the beginning of the course, or this class, I asked you guys for some warning signs, right? And one that Mr. Chappelle, he said was giving away property. And then Ms. Wilson, who just mentioned, the person talks of suicide. So I have a question. The one that stuck out to me was giving away the property. I wanted to say at the beginning, but I didn't want to, give this away. Why do you think that is a warning sign? Why can't I just give you this space that I just want to give you? Why is giving away property a warning sign?
Most times when people give away property, it's things that's really sentimental, and they know if they just die, it's just probably going to be thrown away or just given away. They might give away something cherishable to someone they care about.
Okay.
Maybe as like a reminder or something like that. So.
Okay, I like this. So maybe even some memento with the person that they actually care about. I like that. What else? Why do you think giving away property is a warning sign? Because could I just give Coop this necklace? And not in this capacity, of course, but if we were friends, could I just not give her, hey, I have this necklace. It's cute on you. Hey, you can have it. Would that necessarily mean I'm suicidal?
Well, I mean,
No. Okay, so
I think
maybe
what
understand.
she's, like, to go off what she said, so like, that one person who had a divorce, but they always carry their wedding ring around their neck. And never took it off, or never gave it to anybody, out of nowhere just gives it to their friends, that, hey, can you hold this for me? Or has just something very, very sentimental to them that they always have, or they just don't really talk about, but you always notice it's there, and out of nowhere it's gone.
Gotcha.
Or it's been given to you.
Okay, I like that.
So basically like what he just said, like the person just gave them a part of them.
Gotcha.
Like just gave it away.
Okay. So the Army Suicide Prevention Program is what we call the ACE program. Miss Wilson, read that for me.
Army Suicide Prevention Program. Ask your buddy. Okay. Have the courage to ask a question, but stay calm. Ask the question directly. Are you thinking about killing yourself? Care for your buddy. Calmly control the situation. Do not use force and be safe. Actively listen to show understanding and produce relief. Seeing death as only the means of eliminating pain. Escort your buddy. Never leave your buddy alone. Escort the chain of command, chaplain, behavioral health professional, or primary caregiver. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Okay, so out of everything we have listed here, what do you think, on a personal level, what would be the hardest for you to do? Go ahead.
I think escort your buddy.
Why you say escort?
Cause like if it's like my buddy, like Coop is my buddy.
Okay.
I would not want to look at her all the time and be like, dang, like she might not be here, tomorrow. Like no, I mean I would, but it would be like kind of like mentally difficult for myself because I know where the mindset she's in, and I don't want her to be there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. What you got, Mr. Ball?
Same thing, because this is my friend. I feel personally responsible for him, and if I do find out that they are feeling that way, I don't feel like I should have to hand them over to somebody else and basically make it somebody else's problem. I want them.
Gotcha.
I want to handle that personally, so I can personally know that they're okay at the end.
Okay. All right. I like that. What you got, Mr. Minton?
The hard for me would ask the question directly.
Ask it directly. Why is that?
Because it's just like you see somebody and they're acting different and stuff. They're probably just be acting different just because they want to act different.
Okay.
Or take a different aspect of personality and something like that. And you just go to them and be like, "Are you thinking about killing yourself?" It's like just.
Gotcha.
It's just kind of
It's like awkward.
It is. It's very awkward.
I got you. Okay, so it could pose an awkward moment like, Coop, are you thinking about killing yourself? Coop, like, hold on, why would you ask me that? You just never know, but to me, I would find it the most difficult too. Just asking a friend, someone I'm close to, are you thinking about killing yourself? Why do you think it's important when you're asking that to stay calm? Why would you think about killing yourself? Like, why would that not be like the most effective way to handle that situation? Why is staying calm so important? Go ahead.
My reason for thinking that you should stay calm was because, like, if you come to them calmly, it's like that they can come to you and talk to you about it. So,
okay.
So if they want to tell you anything, that you can just take note and then help them with it.
I like you. I like that. I like that. Go ahead, Coop.
And if you panic, it may cause them to panic.
Oh, I like that. So your emotion may trigger an emotion in them that was not even there or wasn't even present. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and you can speed up their reaction by that.
Okay, so we just completed practical exercise number 2. What I would like for you guys to take away from this is that these are very real. We do have them in the Army. We actually do have them here at the university for you guys. So we will ensure that you guys have them. So it's best to keep this on yourself just in case, hey, you forget, you don't know what step I can take, what can I do. Just a little card to remind you, hey, these are some of the options that I have when I'm trying to care for someone who I feel like have displayed these suicidal characteristics or whatever, or behaviors. So today, we identified the symptoms of depression and common triggers, risk factors, myths, and warning signs of suicide. And we applied appropriate action when we conducted practice exercise number 2 of the ACE program. So, of course, as I mentioned before, this is our final class. So next week, we do have finals. On Friday, we will conduct a review over the final exam. And as well as you guys have in the class quiz, I'm going to allow you guys to actually take that with you. So that is it. Does anyone have any questions of me at this time? Okay, so if there are no questions, that concludes today's class on suicide.